Year 4 of the Ice in Paradise era for ice hockey at UCSB begins with immortality, as today the Gauchos will hang their first Division II championship banner and they open the home portion of the 2018-2019 season facing the Santa Clara Broncos. Hi everybody, Eric Evelhoch with Kyle Nicolas once again with you here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network. Pleasure to join you wherever you may be watching around the world on YouTube or on Facebook. And Kyle, what a year it's going to be for UCSB, and what better way to start it than by celebrating the tremendous accomplishment of last year's first ACHA side.
And celebrating it by no less having the team that they beat for that championship be the guests this afternoon at Ice in Paradise. The Santa Clara Broncos are back in town. Remember last season, that was quite a rivalry with ice hockey at UCSB, and it's only going to continue this year, but with two teams, both in vastly different circumstances compared to last season.
Yeah, it's a big look for both sides as far as differences. The Gauchos returning 8 players from last year's Pacific Collegiate Hockey Association Championship side. They have 8 new players and 13 who are no longer with the side from last year. We'll get into the particulars of that as the broadcast goes along, but Santa Clara as well dealing with some major roster turnover, just 6 returning players from last year's PCHA runner-ups.
And among those players not returning, arguably the biggest difference maker in every single game between these two teams thus far in the Ice in Paradise era, goaltender Frankie Nix was the heart and soul of this Santa Clara franchise for many years. He has moved on. He has graduated from the university, and Santa Clara is now left with goaltending that has not quite been up to the expectations and standards that they have enjoyed for the last few years. And to be honest, you can't really blame them. Nix was a heck of a goaltender.
He certainly was, and it is very difficult when you get outshot 220 to 66 over the course of their last 4 games played. Santa Clara comes into today's contest with a 0-5-0 record, having dropped results at the University of California, Berkeley, a pair to San Jose State University, as well as a pair to CSUN the last 2 days. It seems, Kyle, that for a Gaucho team that returns their both number 2 and number 3 overall point producers in last season in Chris Awaziuk and Tyler Barone, who also finished 1 and 2 in assists, the opportunity is ripe to get the offense going and help integrate these 8 new players.
And for UCSB, the confidence has to be at an all-time high. They got off the schneid very well on Friday, playing their first game of the season against another rival, the Chapman Panthers. Chapman also going through a, shall we say, transitional period. Not quite the powerhouse they were in the past, and ice hockey at UCSB just tackled them very quickly, winning at Westminster Ice by a final score of 9-1. UCSB got off early, they got off fast, and they did not look back, leading the entire way.
It was certainly something that head coach Scott Hires had to be happy about, and we'll find out more from head coach Hires as we introduce you to a new portion of our broadcast crew this season, as we'll be joined by our rink reporter Arthur Wilkie, the program director of KCSB Sports. He's down rinkside with not only the Adams Cup, but head coach Scott Hires.
Yes, today, hopefully you have a good start to the season here. So you made the switch to the West Coast Hockey Conference in the offseason. How does that change benefit the program?
Well, we don't have to do those long bus trips up north anymore, so it's a little bit better on the legs, and I think for the psyche when we just have to travel a couple hours to play a game.
Santa Clara has been outshot early in this year in the last couple of games especially. They've had a little bit of trouble defensively. How do you feel about the offense heading in, considering you had 46 shots on goal against Chapman in the season opener?
Well, like I said, with the UC system, we already have a couple practice till we get started, so we're still learning positions, and I'm trying to match up what lines is best right now. So for our first start, I think we did okay. We're just ironing out the kinks. I think today will be a little bit better effort.
All right, thanks a ton, Scott. Appreciate it. Have a good luck. All right, back to you guys.
Thank you very much to Arthur Wilkie and head coach Scott Hires joining us here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB pregame show. And Kyle, as we always do to close things out on the pregame show, we turn to you to get Kyle's keys for today's contest.
Well, the keys for today's contest, knowing that this Santa Clara team coming in has struggled offensively, first key is going to just be solid defense, particularly at their own blue line. For ice hockey at UCSB, if you really want to take the life out of this team early and keep it away, simply make life difficult at the blue stripe. That'll not only prevent any offense from forming, but really make life easy on the goaltender for ice hockey at UCSB. One of the returning players last year, it's going to be number 31, Lennon Karma, who spent much of last year as the backup goaltender, but now taking over the reins full-time as the only goaltender for this organization. For the second key of this game, ice hockey at UCSB, possession is going to be very important this year, and possession starts right from the drop of the puck. They need to be strong on the face-offs. Face-offs were a bit of an issue for this team last year, especially in the 2 games played here at Ice in Paradise last year. Ice hockey at UCSB was vastly outmatched in the face-off circles. If they can turn that around this year, they're going to be in much better shape. And lastly, it's the home opener. Adrenaline is going to be pumping. There's going to be a lot of emotion with this one. We're going to see a trophy presentation. That can be either your best friend or your worst enemy. You've got to keep it under control, keep the emotions in check, and make sure that you can use it to your advantage to fuel yourself to play better, not lose control.
Should be a great one as the Gauchos, after picking up the 9-1 win at Chapman University on Friday to open the season, look to open Fortress Ice in Paradise with a victory here. UCSB has traditionally been very strong on this Goleta home ice sheet, and they'll look to continue it and continue a campaign that is opened without a blemish. We'll take a brief pause and allow you to listen in to the sounds and see the sights as UCSB celebrates their first ACHA championship on the home opener for the 2018-19 season for Gaucho hockey. This is Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network, streaming live around the world on YouTube and on Facebook.
Heading out to center ice now are members of last season's team, led by Captain Justin Goldzer, who has graduated, celebrating and lifting the Adams Cup trophy. Team's first championship banner being unveiled just to the right of the scoreboard here at Ice in Paradise, along with the names of the players from last season's team. Of course, that team last season winning the championship in what equates to triple overtime after 2 overtime sessions, walking away with it in the shootout. Nothing like a Ben Brecker national anthem to lead off the new season. Ben Brecker, of course, the team's assistant coach and a professor of music here at the University of California, Santa Barbara. Also a very accomplished opera singer, former goaltender from Bowling Green University. And the PA voice you were hearing was, of course, none other than my play-by-play, Eric Evelhoch.
It's so weird getting to do that somewhere other than Harder Stadium or Cesar Wasaka Stadium.
It's also got to be a little weird switching between that mode and then immediately right back into broadcasting mode for the play-by-play.
Well, from the Snyder Rink for the 4th time, ice hockey at UCSB opens things up mere minutes from campus, and they do so against the Santa Clara side that took 2 games from them last year to open last season. Of course, the Gauchos defeating them to claim the championship trophy at season's end. They look to begin this season as myself, Kyle Nicolas, Jesse Gutierrez, as well as Jasmine Kellogg and Arthur Wilkie look forward to bring you Gaucho home games all season long on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network. Starting lineups for both sides: Chris Owaziuk in the middle for the Gauchos, flanked by Tyler Barone and Michael Herlihy, with the defensemen Andrew Vieira as well as Connor May. A giveaway in the early going to Craig Miller, who carries it behind the net. He's on a forward to begin things for Santa Clara. Joining him on the wings, Chris Brown and Brian Weissenkamp. The defensemen are Cameron Burke and John Winchester. Burke back to retrieve in his own end with forward pressure from Barone. As mentioned, starting goalie for Santa Clara is Ryan Corriveau. Corriveau getting the call after the goalie who's seen much of the action so far this season, David Villani, suffered a concussion last week.
Best wishes to him. You never like hearing anything about that when it comes to this game.
Big hit on Brendan McMahon, but he swings it around to captain Kyle Perez and played back to the point for Winchester. His shot streams wide, will be reeled in by Aiden Rupert at the far point. His shot, and Karma comes away with his first save in the 2018-19 season on the home rink. Forechecking pressure from Chris Owaziuk, and a turnover created here by Zach Anchondo, one of several players that Coach Hires is very excited about. As Anchondo creates the turnover, it's kicked to the high slot. Ryan Anderson couldn't reel it in, but it'll be held in at the line by Anderson. Slow roller in on Corriveau, and he will freeze it there.
Mentioned Anchondo, one of the newer names on this team, quite a few this season, along with Ryan Schmitz, Mitch Kiner being new players, Cole Slankovich, another one, Nick Ehrenberg, who we will be seeing later today, Vinny Abdallah, Ryan Anderson being one of the new ones, and Anton Kulinich.
Forechecking pressure in the near corner by Anderson. Nick Carpino trying to get it away. It's held in at the line. Shot. Corriveau makes the save on the seeing eye wrister.
A little bit of adrenaline right out of the gate for the visitors. Santa Clara maybe with a little bit of extra motivation, knowing that they're in the building for this home opener for ice hockey at UCSB, and watching them have to carry that trophy out just one more time.
Sure did seem like graduated former captain Justin Goldser relished the opportunity to hoist that hardware.
Seemed to rub it in just one more time.
Carpino looking to play it out, held it at the line, and nicely done so by Slankovich. Gives it up for Anderson, tries a backdoor feed. Nice job by Vogel on the stick to break it up. And Santa Clara tries to skate it away on the second try, so be played up and out. Ryan Schmitz can't get it out. Nice check. Springs Anderson free. Anderson dipsy deedles across the slot, drops it across. Corriveau makes the save on the wrister by Slankovich.
And that puck got through behind him as well. It just missed the post.
Anderson back to the point. Shot from there by Kulinich. UCSB again. Good forechecking pressure from these new players for the Gauchos. And there's Schmitz coming away with the turnover at the line. Cruz Holloway just couldn't get the tip on it in the low slot. Fresh off the bench, Nick Ehrenberg causing havoc along the far boards and winning the puck. Switches it to Andrew Vieira from the near point. His shot, again, Cruz Holloway just misses the tip by millimeters. John Winchester tries to move it along. Held in at the far point. The shot blocked off Kyle Perez's shin pads, but Cruz Holloway forces the turnover that Vinny Abdallah tries to reel in. Just couldn't. It'll be ultimately played down the ice by Chris Brown. 16:35 to go here in a scoreless first period. Turnover created in the far corner by Craig Miller. Tried to walk it out in front. As he heaved up the far boards. Gets a friendly bounce on Abdallah's pitchforking clear and retrieved by Aiden Rubert. Plays it over for William Vogel. Rubert now takes the return feed. As mentioned, this Santa Clara side has had trouble generating shots in its last 4 games. Should note those 4 contests all coming against seasoned ACHA Division II sides in San Jose State University, as well as CSUN. CSUN, of course, the reigning champions of the West Coast Hockey Conference.
And a team UCSB is going to see later this season.
Tyler Barone wheels it back in his own end. Another familiar face. Shot from the far boards, easily handled by Karma. Blind backhand feed by Perez, looking to the slot. Knocked away by May. And up skates Barone. Nice job by Rubert to knock it free from him. And a turnover at their own line. Perez walks in and tunes a wrister up high and wide on the glove of Karma. Vogel sends it back around. Santa Clara looked like they were caught in between whether they wanted to make a change or not, as Barone takes the feed up the near side boards. Tries a backdoor pass. This will be a Wozniak curling around the net with it. As mentioned, a Wozniak, the top scoring returner for the Gauchos, as he put up 22 points last season and led the team in helpers with 13. Vogel along the far boards of Wozniak. Digs for it, but it's taken away by Miller. Carpino. Vieira introduces him to the ice sheet. But Miller able to get ahead with it. Shot on, save made by Karma. Winchester. Long shot, kind of handcuffed Karma. Fought it off at the last second.
Bit of an awkward placement on that one.
And here's the turnover. Second try, though. Gauchos able to get it out as pass across the high slot. Finds the stick of Anchondo. Couldn't control it. Winchester stood up. A little bit of debris on the ice.
Looks like a mouth guard.
As Burke carries in. Throws it in front. Perilously through the blue paint. The Gauchos able to get it out. Played ahead for Cole Slankovich, skating his way free. Bourne in front, great save by Corriveau on Michael Herlihy. Perez played forward for Brown. Brown's wrister is blocked by Kulinich. Now bodied along the sideboards by Anderson. Slankovich. Nice outlet feed. Corriveau comes out to challenge his Hurley. He walks in and is denied with the right toe by Corriveau.
What a stop. He just got the butt end of the blade of his stick on that one at the last second. And oh my goodness. Corriveau coming up and bailing his team out early.
13:08 to go here from the Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise as the Gauchos go to the power play for their first time. Penalty on Santa Clara here. Did not see the call from the officials.
Missed it as well. I'd have to imagine it was for some sort of either a push after the play or maybe a little hack at the very end there.
Perhaps a stick violation as well. Nonetheless, the Gauchos to the power play for the first time on the home rink this season. Looking for the tip play near post. Aiden Rubert stubbed it wide. Kulinich activates up the far boards, and it'll be pulled out and played back to the line. Rister through all sorts of traffic. Corriveau ultimately able to steer it away off Anchondo's look.
Look out here.
And here's a breakaway for Nolan Bowers. It's played back for Nolan Bowers. And now the Gauchos a chance perhaps for odd men if they hurry. Owasiak dips the shoulder, carries it around the net. 1:15 to go on the power play as Vieira, who had 5 helpers against Chapman, fires into the breadbasket of Corvo, who holds.
Not a lot of traffic on that one. Fairly routine save from Corvo. We talked a little bit earlier about number 9 for UCSB, Chris Owasiak. Came in last season as a rookie to this team and led the team in scoring. Back at that point, that was a nice luxury to have in order to have a freshman who could come in and put up the points that he did. He is one of the players that is being relied on to step up and really lead this team offensively. Look for him to make a big impact this season.
Vieira to Barone. Near post curling around Vinny Abdallah, back to the point. Slapper by Seitz, screams wide, but Barone will pick it back up and play for Vieira for Barone. These two just made a living on the power play last season as Barone's shot flared to the far boards by Corvo. Seitz can't connect with Vieira, and the Gauchos have to vacate the zone. Winchester melts off some extra seconds before sending it the length of the sheet. Real chippy affair in that game against Chapman as giveaway in their own end. Vogel steps forward, gives for Rubert, and he'll just angle it back in. 15 seconds remaining in the first Gaucho power play of the game. Not had any particularly great looks on Corvo's cage thus far with the advantage. As Perez tries to slap it out up the far boards, William Vogel will get the carry out on the far try, and Santa Clara has killed the first minor of the game against Brian Weisenkamp. Weisenkamp will backhand it back into the Gaucho end. Barone on the back check. Can't get away from Weisenkamp, who feeds forward for Perez. Perez in, Karma closes it down near post, but the Gauchos forced to take a penalty on the push in from the captain Perez.
And this is going to be a hooking call. Still waiting to see who it is that's going off. Appears as though it's going to be number 5, Connor May, going off for ice hockey at UCSB. Just a little tug on the hands as that shot was going towards net.
Should be noted, Kyle, of the 8 returning players for the Gauchos, they were amongst the least penalized on the side, just 26 minutes in penalties of the 198 that the team accrued last season. Sharp angle shot shut down by Karma on the try from Perez. Played to the point, the shot on Burke is blocked. Pirouetting Miller gets the puck back. Gauchos in a diamond here come away with the block and come away with the clear. UCSB's penalty kill performed well against Chapman. A perfect 6 for 6 as Owasiak up on the forecheck for the Gauchos. And he's able to come away with the steal. UCSB had a shorty against Chapman as Evelhoch slings it wide to the near side. He'll kick out for Bowers for Winchester. Burke. Stick checked away by Evelhoch, and the Gauchos roll it back in. 50 seconds remaining in the first power play opportunity of the game for Santa Clara.
Good work from the third-year player Evelhoch on this penalty kill. He's making a nuisance of himself out on the offense.
Once again, Corvo has to tee it back up for Burke as Arenberg and Evelhoch come away with the turnover. And force Santa Clara to work it forward from their own end. Carpino played back for Rubert. Now Burke hits the official.
That's kind of smart.
As Rubert stood up at the line, played it back in. And Santa Clara has gone offside with 8:57 to go here in the first period. 11 seconds remaining on the first kill of the game for UCSB.
You got to say, so far so good for ice hockey at UCSB on this penalty kill. Evelhoch, we mentioned him. Excellent work, especially on the blue line, not allowing Santa Clara to advance even over the red line without facing some pretty significant resistance. So, as a goaltender, you're going to really love seeing those kinds of efforts from your guys in front of you killing penalties.
And here's a giveaway and almost an offensive opportunity for Slinkovic. And now we're back to 5-a-side as Rubert Schmitz shoots it back to the red line. Rubert will retry. Takes the return from Vogel. Brown. Wasiak tried to edge him off it as Brown can't dance through the Gauchos in the right side circle. Held in by Rubert near point. Puck bounces in front, backdoor pass, looking for the slam. Bowers couldn't control it. And now the Gauchos angled out off the far boards by Slinkovic. Onside, just couldn't connect with Anchondo there. Held in at the line by Slinkovic. Fights his way forward, tried to backhand it in front. Corvo clears it to the end boards. Back to the point. Switch for a shot through all kinds of traffic. Tipped wide by Anchondo. Continues to pressure Vogel. But Rubert will bounce it up and out as Mitch Kiner chases back in his own end. Fresh skaters over the boards for the Broncos. And the turnover created there. But Barone able to play back. The Gauchos try and reset, and this is going to be called a hand pass as it was knocked down by Miller.
Thought he touched it at the same time as well.
I was going to say,
a little
hand
surprising
pass
on
to
that
himself.
Call. I don't think that's how that works, unless some sort of a rule difference I don't know about.
Face-off coming up to the left of goalie Lennon Karma. Karma a better than 90% save percentage in regular season action last year. As it's played along the end boards. And taken away by Abdallah. Bounces back in behind. Now it's curled in front and carried away by Barone. Barone drops it back. An Abdallah shot that's kicked to the near corner by Corvo. Barone gets it from Arenberg, plays it to the slot. The shot, again, a toe save from Corvo. He keeps it away from Abdallah. Good job on the back check by Abdallah to force the turnover and get the puck back for the Gauchos, but just like that, Perez able to step up on the intercept before Barone takes it back from him.
And those are the types of efforts as a coach you love to see, just giving it your all in that back check to try to slow the opposition down before they can even get in on your goaltender. Something Coach Hire is going to be happy about.
Chases his back angle in behind before Burke able to escape. This one will go the length of the sheet. Good job by Ryan Schmitz to leg it out and earn the icing with 5:59 to go here in the first period.
Just looking out there on the ice and noticing, it seems very odd to see that number 4 skating out there on the back of anyone other than the now moved on Christian Ockpish. The Ox playing with this team for the first 3 years that we covered. Always a staple in this lineup.
Along the end boards, it's played away. Herlihy tries a stuff at the far post. It's retrieved and sets up a shot. Cruz Holloway banging away in front of the net, and Corvo reaches back behind to come up with the cover. And you can tell Santa Clara certainly did not like Cruz Holloway setting up shop right in the kitchen of Corvo.
It took a couple extra whacks at that puck as well, right as Corvo was going to dive on top of it. Speaking of Cruz Holloway, definitely the leader on the team in the flow department last year. Seems as though he's only ramped that part of his game up even further. Got a lot of hair coming out of the bottom of that helmet.
Gauchos win the offensive zone draw. As Anderson had it taken away from behind by Perez. Looking to build speed up the far boards. Icing waved as Seitz. Good job by Weizenkamp to cause commotion behind the Gaucho end, but UCSB ultimately able to angle it out. Anderson retrieves in the neutral zone circle. Heavy hit taken by Brown as he stands him up at the Santa Clara blue line. Gauchos go for the dump and chase. Corvo. Weizenkamp can't come up with it. Near board, stepping up and angling it back in Vieira. But ultimately, Rubert carries out for the Broncos. Tries to dance through a compacting collection of 4 Gauchos. Karma steers the shot to the far boards. Nice hold in at the line. Schmitz knocked it free, but it goes to William Vogel at the point. Stepping in, Burke. Played across the slot. Nice job to lift the stick, but a turnover. Behind the net is Dakota Binniger. Twisted back around. Vieira. Slankovic. Now the Gauchos ahead. Owasia. Beaten to the puck by Burke, who does a nice job with his body to angle it out. Binniger. This one bounces in over Kulinich. Karma doesn't like what he sees, so he'll just decide to slow the pace of play here with 3:43 to go here in the first.
Very evenly contested first period. Not a lot either way in terms of chances. Both teams doing a really good job to keep the opposition out of that high danger area directly in front of their net. Ice hockey at UCSB doing a great job of cutting off the passes that are going through there as well. Nothing going either direction.
Weizenkamp missing the call to go over the boards from head coach Jackson Morgus. Speaking with him before the game, there was one thing that made sure to point out the tremendous structure that this Santa Clara side has shown since he took over as the coach of the program since the 2016-17 season.
Their system is truly one of the best in this league.
Held in at the line by Winchester. Karma makes the save on the sideboard shot from Perez. Not much danger to it, though, as it's out that, as you mentioned, Kyle, home plate area between the face-off dots and angling into the corners of the posts.
And especially if there's no traffic between the goaltender and the man shooting that puck, that's a routine save for just about any goaltender. It's got to be perfect to even have a chance of getting past him.
Back to the line, Winchester waits for traffic. It was tipped in front, just wide by Bowers. McMahon curls it around. Abdallah couldn't connect with his initial target, Arenberg. Burke bounced it back in. And Barone will give chase, but Winchester wins that race. Bowers. Touched forward by McMahon. Schmitz retrieves. And the Broncos have iced the puck.
2:43 remaining here in the first period of play. I think there's a lot you have to like to see if your coach hires so far. Of course, you'd like to see them maybe get a few more pucks into that dirty area we've been talking about right in front of the net, but plenty of time and not a whole lot of mistakes either direction.
Anderson on the draw, stalemates it. Cruz Holloway comes in to help, comes back for a shot that deflects up and over off the stick of Anderson. Anderson tries to curl around. Evelhoch in there to help, played back to the point and angled back in by Vieira. Cruz Holloway gives chase and tries to lay the body. Bowers turns away from it, but Evelhoch creates the turnover. Winchester can't get it completely down the sheet as Vieira, a nice dance at the near point, able to walk his way in. Vieira to the high slot, through Anderson, Cruz Holloway shot. Oh, it may have been a pass for Vieira and Drew just missed it. Winchester on the carryout for SCU. Karma moves it for Vieira. For the home run pass, Evelhoch. It was blocked. And the Broncos keep it in. Vieira Two black shirts coming in on him, able to sling it forward for Slankovic. And it bounces back to the new team president for ice hockey at UCSB. Drew Vieira this season, hail to the chief.
Got some big shoes to fill taking over for Justin Goldzer last year.
Slankovic comes away with the loose puck. Nice pass, setting it up on a tee. That's a stinging wrister from Owasiak, but unfortunately right in to the midsection of Ryan Corriveau.
Not typically the type of shot you would expect to see from a goal scorer, the likes of Owasiak, but also at the same time, good work from the Santa Clara defense to get out and pressure out there and sort of force that type of a shot.
Nice job on the defensive zone draw, win by Millers. We've got a minute to go here in the first period. Vieira activates. Turns off a check, plays it to the point. Kulinic through traffic, blockered up into the mesh netting back behind.
I believe that just got the shaft of the goaltender's stick for the Santa Clara netminder. So one of those ones where maybe not necessarily an anticipated save, but one you take.
Vieira for Kulinic. Again, looking for the tip there. Slankovic played it to the slot. Shot save made by Corriveau. Oh, he was going the opposite direction, but a great job flaring out the left pad to keep it scoreless.
And that right there is why you have such a tremendous advantage being tall as a goaltender. Corriveau listed as 6'3", the San Jose native. Again, wrong-footed, going the opposite direction, just kicks the pad out and gets the foot to it. What a stop.
Played forward for Bowers. Bowers, the shot. A little bit of a changeup. Now bouncing puck. Chance for a late break for the Gauchos. Owasiak to the slot, just couldn't connect with Slankovic. And so ends the opening period of home ice action here for the 2018-19 season for ice hockey at UCSB. And much as the first period was for the Gauchos against Santa Clara in their meetings last season, the last meeting between these two teams saw them scoreless after one. It's the same here in the first game of season 4.
Well, not too much really all that surprising out of that. Two teams very familiar with each other, playing a very familiar style. A lot of transition, a lot of change between the two teams, but nonetheless, the two systems seem to match very well with each other. Not a whole lot going either direction aside from maybe that one really good chance right there in the dying seconds that forced Corriveau to make that sensational save.
So the team's scoreless. When we return, we'll take a look at the first period stats, and mayhaps, Kyle, do we dare put the headset on one of these returning players from the Adams Cup champions?
I don't know
give
if
them a shot at you.
I don't know if I trust them enough. We'll figure it out.
Back after this, scoreless after one, Gauchos and Broncos 2018-19 home opener on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network, streaming live around the world on YouTube and on Facebook.
back at Ice in Paradise here at the first intermission. Score tied 0-0 between the Santa Clara University Broncos and University of California Santa Barbara Gauchos. I am now joined by a special guest and someone who has immortalized himself in program history, the shootout winning goal scorer from last season, Cooper Spears. Cooper, good to see you again, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me back on.
So Cooper, shootout winning goal, mentioned that last year. This team beat you guys twice during the regular season. How did it feel to finally manage to get the better of them, knowing that their goaltender was so strong, that they had just seemed to have your guys' number for so many games last year? How did it feel to finally come out on top in that tournament up in Tahoe?
I mean, we played them a lot last year, and I guess we came out on top when it actually mattered.
That's fair to say.
And I mean, it was a tough game. We were up 7-0 going into the third period, and then they came back and forced us to play 2 overtime periods of 10 minutes and then 1 extra of 5 minutes, and then went into the shootout.
Yeah, so a little bit of some drama at the end in what looked like it probably should have been a fairly, I don't want to say easy, but should have been just kind of one of those closeout moments, but seems kind of like this team's MO to just not leave anything without a little bit of drama. So congratulations to you guys once again. It's good to have you guys with that banner up here. So what have you been doing now that you're not with the program anymore? You were telling me that you had a little bit of a medical procedure.
Yeah, so I had a double ankle surgery, and I was going to skate with the guys during the offseason a little bit during the practice and kind of show them what the grit and everything. But it just didn't happen that way, and it's been about 4 months of recovery time, still recovering as we speak. So it's been rough, but it's always nice to come back and see you guys and talk to you guys and everything. So,
well, we appreciate having you back as well real quick. So I'm going to ask you now to get behind the bench and put your coaching hat on a little bit here. Seeing what you saw from that first period, and you also know Coach Hires a little bit better than both of us, what's his message going to be to the guys down in the locker room in order to really kind of turn this one around, knowing that this game, much like the rest of the games between UCSB and Santa Clara, this game very close, very hard fought, chippy, physical, seems to be pretty much the way we've come to expect them to. What's Coach Hires saying down there?
I probably think that he's saying get more shots, shoot it, don't try to go through and dangle through the defense. We had a lot of chances to just put on net, but we made that extra move and gave away a scoring chance and everything. So I think just more shots, being physical and everything. We were super physical that game. They were getting the better hand of us, so just more physical, more shots, and just gritty.
Sounds good. You still a big fan of Gossip Girl, man?
Oh, I love it. Can't tell you how much I watched when I was sitting up on the couch with my surgery and everything. So,
all right, Cooper. Well,
all
thanks
right.
for coming up, bud. We appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of the game. And hopefully, we'll hear from you a little bit more later on this season.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
First intermission, getting ready for the beginning of period 2 here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network. Eric Evelhoch, Kyle Nicolas with you from the Snyder Rink and Ice in Paradise in Goleta, taking a look at the first period shot numbers. UCSB outshooting SCU 12-7, but the most important stat, Kyle, it's still deadlocked at 0-0. How do you feel about how the team handled your keys for the opening 20 minutes of action?
Felt like they did an okay job. It seems like there was not a whole lot really going either direction for both teams. A lot of solid defense, which Ice Hockey at UCSB, I did mention, they needed to be strong on their own blue line. They were strong a lot further up than that. Specifically, I noticed the efforts of number 6, Michael Herlihy, in that period, especially on that penalty kill, making a real nuisance of himself as Santa Clara tried to come up the ice toward the Gaucho end. He did a sensational job of just completely blocking them out, turning the puck away, and even got a few turnovers inside the offensive blue line, which generated a couple scoring chances for the Gauchos.
I was also impressed with the performance of some of the new players for Ice Hockey at UCSB. Cole Slankovich, I think, acquitted himself quite well, and Chondo had a couple of good looks for the Gauchos. But, you know, when you begin a season and you're breaking in a team that is essentially half new, you need to be able to turn to your leaders, and I think Chris Owasiak had himself a whale of an open period as far as generating opportunities for UCSB.
Well, we mentioned at the outset of last season that Chris Owasiak is one of those guys that Coach Hires says he would want to have at his side if he has to go to war with someone. One of those guys that's just going to give his all, 110%. We saw that here this afternoon in that first period. I also thought it was a pretty good first period for the returning Tyler Barone, who, again, we've come to expect him being a slick skating forward, a great puck handler, who really has a flair for the dramatic and can pot that goal when the Gauchos need him to as well. Nothing for that regard yet, but I thought he had himself a very good period, and I think we can expect more here going forward.
Well, one of the things as well that you can expect here on the presentations for ice hockey at UCSB is that we'll be introducing the third member of our broadcasts for home games, as program director for KCSB, Arthur Wilkie, will fill the, as it were, Pierre Maguire role for the Gauchos. We were fortunate enough to be joined by him during the pregame, as well as head coach Scott Hires, and we'll also have the opportunity to get some in-game thoughts from him and some of the players as well, trying to round up Chris Owasiak, and Arthur's got him now. Take it away, Art.
All right, Chris, you guys are leading in shots, but it's scoreless after 20. What do you guys need to change out there? What's making it hard for to you to beat them?
I think we got to build it from our defense up right now. We're kind of hesitating, and we're kind of throwing our puck up the wall. We just need to keep a level head and just go into this period with being calm, with confidence, and just take it to them.
And that last shot there with 30 seconds to go, how'd you feel about that one? It looked like it might have had a chance to go in there.
Well, I mean, at that point I knew we were running out of time, so I just threw it in front of the net, so just see what would happen. You can't go wrong that way. I think if we just keep putting pressure on them, something's bound to happen.
All right, thanks, Chris. Best of luck. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. Arthur Wilkie, as mentioned, the third man in on the broadcast, and it's our pleasure to be joined on the broadcast as well right now by assistant coach Ben Brecker. And Coach, congratulations once again on a wonderful home opening national anthem.
No, thanks.
And it's got to be nice to see your name on that banner for the 2017-18 Adams Cup that's going to be forever hanging to the right of the San Ynez Band of Chumash Indians scoreboard.
Yeah, for a program only 3 years old, this is a great thing, a great day for UCSB hockey and all of our donors and fans and the kids. It's a great day. We're really happy. We want to score more goals in the first period, or second period, than we did in the first here, get started on our home opener. But the banner is just a testament to all our great donors of the last few years who have made hockey possible here.
Slankovich starts the charge for the Gauchos to begin the middle frame of action. The puck chipped up and off the sheet by Dakota Binniger. Of course, that is not a delay of game at the ACHA level, so face-off forthcoming to Ryan Corriveau's right. What do you think of Corriveau? It seemed like there were a few times he was a bit scrambly, but had the athleticism to recover and make some dandy stops against some great Gaucho chances in the first.
Yeah, he looks really good. He's got really good legs, and he stays square real well. He made a few really good saves at the end of the period there, kept him in the game.
Schmitz shoots it back in behind. This will be retrieved by Winchester. Moves along, looking for Burke. Double team along the far board before finally getting help from a pair of black shirts to play it to the blue line. Binniger drops it back for Burke before Owaziak wedges it off with help from Slenkovic. Owaziak. It really struck me during the pre-period interview with our man in the glass, Arthur Wilkie, that he mentioned that the team really needs to do more building from the back offensively, getting the flow going, starting with the defenseman moving the puck.
Yeah, great point. I think first period we were sloppy defensively. We need to be crisper on our outlet passes instead of dumping the puck behind the net kind of weakly. If you're going to send it out high and hard. But we're not starting our offense out of our zone very well.
Vinny Abdallah with a nice individual effort, just couldn't put it on cage. And now it's carried out by Nolan Bowers. Bowers in, tries to play to the slot, punched away. Karma kind of swimming, but able to hold the far post and get the puck bounced in on him and hold with 1 minute and 44 seconds played here in period 2. You mentioned that this is such a big moment for the donors to the program, who have been really instrumental in helping this continue to build as Ice in Paradise has further entrenched itself as part of the Santa Barbara ice hockey community.
Well, you know, it starts with two guys who are donors, who are backseat donors who don't like to be known who they are, which is fantastic. But it also goes to our adult hockey and all the guys who grew up playing hockey in the Midwest or South, SoCal, or Midwest like myself, who not only come to all the games but buy our gear and support us monetarily, and also coming to games.
Forward pressure by Santa Clara creates an opportunity for Craig Miller, but a nice job recovering to deflect it up into the back netting. And it really is remarkable seeing how this program has built over the course of the seasons, going from entirely student run in the first year that Ice in Paradise opened, competing in the NCHA, and now here continuing to move up the ladder in the ACHA second division.
Yeah, well, this is a big year for us. This is a big step forward with the West Coast Hockey Association. The teams we're playing this year, it's a very good league, and we're going to have to step up our play to be respectable in this league. The teams, Long Beach and Northridge and Loyola Marymount have long-time teams, and it's going to be a challenge for us. We're looking forward to this year.
Shot from the line, changed direction, but Cruz Holloway able to work it up the near boards. Head of speed for Ryan Anderson.
Ryan's a good kid, new freshman here from Houston area. Not a big guy, but he's got a big heart, and he hustles, and he's quick.
He's got a big motor for sure, too.
Yeah.
Flying around all over the place. CCH plays it back in behind for Vieira. Flushed out by Miller, but able to skate his way free.
So that's a better breakout for us.
Drew carries the mail through, has a chance in on Corriveau, and the shot deflects in behind wide. Anderson gives chase near boards. Back behind for Vieira, tried to throw it in front. Played to the near boards and will be carried out by Bowers. Bowers. There's that man Anderson again, back in his own end, making the play. but unfortunately sending it the length of the sheet. And the Gauchos have iced the puck with 15:57 to go here in the second.
No, just a little out of sorts. Santa Clara has been in school since August, and we've only been in school since the end of September. We've only had 4 practices before this game. So we're catching up to the rest of the league who was on the semester system. We're on the quarters. But the guys are doing well.
Yeah, Santa Clara has played more games than the Gauchos have had practices. Angled out at the near boards by Mitch Kiner. Icing wave. Gauchos able to get fresh men over the boards. As Awazia forces the play back in. Ooh, funny bounce. Nearly came back out in front, and Awazia has won it for the Gauchos. Takes the return feed from Anchondo. Slankovic can't hold it in at the near point. Awazia up and into the Cats family player bench. The Gauchos stand. You may note standing next to head coach Scott Hires is a player not in uniform for the Gauchos. That's Max Holloway. He'll hopefully be able to join UCSB. Another one of the 8 new players that the Gauchos welcome into the program in 2018-19. Back in his own end, Anton Kulinic swings it around. Awazia comes away with it, stood up at the defensive line, but second effort help played out by Anchondo. And Anchondo's going to take a penalty here for the can opener job on Burke. Seemed unfortunate in where he put his stick in trying to make the pressure coming across, and it was almost as much the player running into him as him running into him.
Yeah, he caught an edge, and I think we got unlucky on that one.
So the Gauchos back to the penalty kill for the second time this afternoon. Perfect on the kill so far this season, 7 for 7. Although, why do I mention that aloud?
Exactly.
Vieira, hard work along the end boards. Continues to battle. Drew able to melt off nearly 25 seconds along the end boards, and now Vinny Abdallah creates a turnover and carries in one-on-one. Burke, forces the flip to the far corner, where it'll be retrieved by Bowers. And again, up ice pressure from the Gauchos creates a turnover, and Kulinic will step into the near point to swing it back in behind for Corvo to set up their Winchester.
Good start to this penalty kill.
Winchester on the carry-in. Winchester shoots, Karma the save, rebound comes out, Karma forces him to put it wide, puck bouncing in front, great job reaching back with the blocker for Karma to come up with the save, puck comes loose, somehow it stays out again! Nolan with great karma, great fortune, and the Gauchos are still in a scoreless contest with 51 seconds remaining in the penalty.
That's a great play by Lennon there. You know, Lennon's done a huge off-season change in his life. He's lost 40 pounds. He is much leaner, much quicker than last year. He's changed his diet completely, and he's doing a serious 4-day-a-week workout, and you can see the speed there, getting side to side.
Broncos continue to lurk. From the line, Rupert tries to walk around Awazia. He can't. Played to the end boards where Kulinic. Staple gun there by Binniger. Intercepted by May. And it gets through the wickets of Vogel. Rupert forced to re-rack in his own end. Awazia slings it back in behind. Good forechecking here from Arenberg. And the Gauchos have killed the second Santa Clara power play of the afternoon. So a little bit of luck for Lenny and company on that one scrambly moment at the far post, but other than that, great up-ice forechecking pressure from the Gauchos. Vieira. Now Kiner turns it over. But Vinegar can't do anything with it. Awazia takes the turn and carries in. Dips the shoulder, drags around, shot save made by Corriveau.
Well, thanks for having me today, and to all those people who were watching at home, come on up to Ice in Paradise for our season, and you'll see some fun hockey.
Assistant coach Ben Brecker joining us here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network. Of course, the next opportunity you'll have to be here will be the 10th of November when the Gauchos take on Long Beach State. Kyle Nicolas rejoins us here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network as Vieira can't keep it in, and now perhaps an odd man opportunity here. It's just out of the reach of Craig Miller. Miller now with it again. Shot save made by Karma. Standing tall at the far post, getting the puck to stick with him with 11:54 to go here in the second period. You know, you made mention, Kyle, and Coach Brecker told us about the big-time personal improvements that Karma's made in the offseason to be better athletically, and he's going to have to shoulder the load himself this season as he's the only goalie on the roster. Hold that thought, is now a 2-on-1. Barone tries to pass across. It bounces just over Slenkovic's stick. Can't get it on Cage. Barone will play it back to him. Slenkovic spins. Working hard along the end boards, tries to walk it in front. And it's angled up and away by Brendan McMahon, but not out. And behind the play, we have a penalty called here to complete that thought, Kyle. And then we'll get you the penalty call here as it's like a slash behind the play.
Looks like both of them are going to wind up going.
So we'll have some 4-on-4 hockey, but with Karma carrying the load in the crease after having split it with Will Hahn last season, Will joins us here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network as a producer this season. Gaucho's loss in the crease is our gain in production value.
And he's going to be a valuable member at improving the quality of the product that we bring to you on the airwaves. Here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network, Will, a extraordinarily intelligent person when it comes to video technology and broadcasting.
So 4-on-4 for the first time in a scoreless contest. Herlihy trying to walk through. Kulinich plays it back in where Vogel. Oh, there's a giveaway. Herlihy trying to do something with it, plays it across the slot. Nobody else was there, but now Awazia comes in to help. Awazia. Far corner, Chris Brown. Angled back in behind. With this forechecking pressure from the Gauchos has created a couple of hairy moments for the Broncos in their own end.
These two players in particular, too, Awaziuk and Herlihy, have caused most of it.
But now Kyle Perez walks through, splits the D, one-on-one. Karma kicks it away!
And he is out on top of his goal crease to make that stop. That is some confident net minding from Karma.
Now Herlihy again gives chase, negates the icing, but Vogel angled him off the puck. Awasiuk creates a momentary turnover, but it bounces out for Perez. Perez shoots. Karma holds and covers as the shot sticks him in the sea of the downsloping Gauchos across the white home UCSB sweater.
And one of the signs of a goaltender who's really feeling it at any given point is when he is completely and perfectly square to any shot that's coming at him. Karma just coming right out to the top of his goal crease on each of those last few shots, perfectly facing the shooter down. Nothing really to look at. Makes the save that would otherwise be very difficult seem very routine.
Gauchos win the defensive zone draw, but Dakota Vinegar looks to create the turnover. Barone, nice job helping out. Mitch Kiner on the play. Kiner Up the near boards, nice angle feed to find Vieira, who flew the zone. Vieira walks in, pass back door, just hopped the stick of Tyler Barone. And now Vinegar. Nice job recovery by Barone, and it's angled up ahead. Vieira again. Vieira in, dips the shoulder, walks across, and can't get it on Cage at the moment of truth. Kiner back for Barone. Stretch pass starting to show some danger for ice hockey at UCSB as we're past the midway mark of the second period, and Karma coming way out to angle it off the glass. What were you saying about confidence, Kyle?
Confident goaltender. They'll take a few extra risks because they know that they're playing well.
Santa Clara looks to start the breakout. Kiner steps up and out of the box, and Chondo had it taken away by Perez. Teams back to even strength as Awasiak takes the return feed, and Chondo to the near boards and back in behind Karma. Santa Clara going for a change on the on-ice unit. Vieira takes it back. For checking pressure here as Kiner. Vieira lets it go through. A nice touch feed by Abdallah for Arenberg. Arenberg. Heavy hit and take away by Burke. Brown switches it. Awasiak steps up, and it'll be held in far point by Arenberg. Gauchos looking to change up the on-ice personnel as Abdallah twists with it far corner, but two black shirts take it away from him. And now Kulinich. Connor May for Ryan Anderson. Anderson edged off the puck by Burke. 7:05 to go here in a scoreless second period. As May's shot hit the man in the high slot. And Anderson
just barely
offside.
Just barely. The last man had just had 1 foot still over that blue line. So close to springing him for what would have been pretty much a partial breakaway from the blue line in.
That would be perhaps one instance where a coach wants to see a player flamingo. You certainly don't want to see that in the defensive end, but of course just having 1 foot in is enough to establish position in the offensive zone. Intercepted at neutral ice by Perez. Perez to the high slot. Vinegar shoots wide. This one played through neutral ice. Officials rule Burke had an opportunity to get a touch on that. It's Chris Cruz-Holloway.
Good pressure.
Tangles up with him and creates the turnover. Kulinich from the point. Look at the layers defensively for Santa Clara. It's going to take a perfect shot to see it through, and behind the play, Cruz-Holloway is dumped by Cameron Burke. And it looks like CCH might have drawn the second power play of the afternoon for ice hockey at UCSB.
He took a pretty nasty shot at the end there from Cameron Burke. Cruz-Holloway doing yeoman's work in front of the net. They say that is one of the hardest positions to play in the offensive zone just because of the abuse you take there. And he has been stationing himself right in front of the goaltender all afternoon long. No exception on that shift. And Cruz-Holloway maybe not rewarded with the point this time around, but he generates another golden opportunity for ice hockey at UCSB with another power play.
Second of the afternoon for the Gauchos. As Kulinich. Pressure forces it out up the near boards. And Vieira The Gauchos will have to take it the length of the sheet. We've already seen one buttered toast effort from the senior Gaucho defenseman. And Karma out after the turnover created by Craig Miller. Shoots it in to the Crest Marine Hotchkiss visitor bench here at the Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise.
Maybe a little bit lackadaisical there from Vieira, advancing that puck out on the power play. Not a lot of urgency being shown here in the early 30 seconds.
Defensive zone draw for Barone. And Vieira behind for Kulinic. Here's Anchondo. Both of his goals against Chapman came with the man advantage. Slankovic for Barone, back to the point, Vieira. Barone bouncing puck. Nice bit of stick work to control it across the slot. His shot, save made, Corvo, rebound, sitting there. Slankovic back behind, tries to stuff at the far post. Save made by Corvo. Similar sort of chaos as Karma's great moment earlier in the period, and the shot from the point is blockered up and into the back mesh.
And that's a fortunate break for Corvo, just being able to get his blocker down on that. He actually lost his stick in that flurry, and a goaltender without that goal stick, that 5-hole is just wide open and defenseless. Gets away with that one, able to pick that stick up for the faceoff.
45 seconds remain in the Gaucho power play. And off the draw, it comes in on Karma. Kulinic angles it up forward for Slankovic. Tried to stretch it forward for Anchondo, too far. And the Gauchos have iced the puck on the power play.
Both of these teams just playing sensational when a man down in this game. Nothing going either direction, and you can just tell the emphasis that both of these coaches are putting on making sure that their marks are covered and that any sort of opportunities are completely stifled out.
Gauchos win the defensive zone draw. As Slankovic, Franchano. By the way, corrections and retractions on that factoid. It's a factoid if it's not actually real. Look it up in the dictionary. It's true. Anchondo had both of his goals in the first period. Shot from the line, deflected and scored! Anton Kulinic! And the Gauchos break the ice with 10 seconds remaining in the power play. It's 1-0 Gauchos.
And that sometimes is what it takes in order to break a game open. An ugly one. It seemed like a rather lackadaisical shot from the point, catches a deflection off of John Winchester in the high slot, and it goes right into the top corner, back behind goaltender Ryan Corvo. Bit of an ugly goal, but nonetheless, one the Gauchos will take. And finally, we've got a goal here with about 4.5 minutes remaining in the second period.
And we even had a couple tortillas on the sheet afterwards.
Good to know we're still in Santa Barbara territory, right?
So Santa Clara having words with the officiating crew afterwards. But ice hockey at UCSB takes the lead. Cameron Burke off the draw, walks in on Karma, save made. And a whistle and a stoppage in play as the net comes off its moorings.
Sometimes as a goaltender, all it takes is one really hard push off that goalpost, and it's enough to kick it off. These are not the same types of pegs that they use in an NHL rig that extend several inches below the ice. These are more like an ice pick. It just kind of goes in an inch or so.
Shot off the draw, kicked out by Karma. Played around by Owaziuk to the far boards for Arenberg. Vieira curls it around for Ryan Schmitz. It was Schmitz who had both of his goals against Chapman on the power play for UCSB. Vieira. Gauchos reset. The goal at 15:38, second period giveaway, and graciously Kyle Perez stubbed the shot. Santa Clara amping up their pressure here. And now Cameron Burke curling around the cage. Pass back and underneath the blade of Brendan McMahon. Slapped back in by Kyle Perez. Abdallah able to angle it out under pressure. Schmitz stopped at the line by Weizenkamp. And here's Awasiak. Shot, save made by Corvo, clears it to the near boards where Chris Brown tried to track it down, held in by Abdallah. Gauchos go for a full-scale change. Cruz Holloway, who drew the power play. Anton Kulinic scored, comes up with a turnover here. Back to the line. Shot through traffic. Corvo stays standing up as Kiner's shot sticks to his midsection with 2:20 to go in period 2.
So for UCSB, finally something to show for the effort they've had here this afternoon. But a good response from Santa Clara, immediately jumping out and going on the attack. Unfortunately for the Gauchos, we've been talking about the confident play of Lennon Karma. He's been very good here this afternoon, seemingly allowing almost nothing for those Broncos forwards to shoot at.
Anderson stalemated the draw, enables Herlihy to come up with it for Anderson. Knocked away, and Vogel plays forward for Binniger. Couldn't come up with it. And Kulinic.
Not happy about that icing
the
call.
ire of Coach Jackson Morgus, and of course his assistant, Akshay Agarkar,
Former player.
played for them last year.
Not very happy about that icing call, though. Maybe feeling like the Gaucho defense sandbagged a little bit to let that one get over the goal line.
Anderson again stalemates the draw, but this time Santa Clara able to carry out Carpino. Anderson wins the puck from him, turns it over to Perez. Perez walks in, backhander. Karma the save. Great job staying with the paddle flush to the rink. And he holds for the draw.
Just put that paddle down and protect that 5-hole, knowing that there really wasn't much of an area for Perez to go. Perez did have a step on the Gaucho defense, but wasn't really going to be able to walk across the front. So for Karma, stick down low, keep that paddle flat, nowhere to go.
Connor May turns it over behind the net. Backhand in front. Second try. Brown tracks it down. Slam try by Miller. Slapper. Burke deflected in the high slot. Shot. Nice job giving up the body by Vieira to come away with the block. And Slankovic comes away with the puck for the Gauchos. His pass to the far boards too far. And now Miller. Drops it back for Bowers. Bowers' shot deflected by the Gaucho defender, or the blocker of Karma will keep the face-off here in the Gaucho defensive end. 66 seconds remaining in the second period.
So Santa Clara responding well to giving up that goal here, continuing to put that pressure on, hoping they can draw back even before the end of this one.
Wheeled around by Kulinic. And Chondo looking for help. Vieira pinned to the boards by a pair of Broncos. Barone can't dig it out on the second try. He does. And Chondo able to angle it out, and good job by Burke to prevent the step around by Slankovic. Barone tripped down, and Carpino will be called for chopping down Barone.
Not a whole lot of complaint there from Carpino. That's about as black and white of a tripping penalty as you can get. Even more so based on the fact that had that not been called, that was a 2-on-1 the other direction for Santa Clara with a definite scoring chance. So the Gauchos, their third power play opportunity of the game, of course successful on their last one, and with just under 30 seconds, to maybe try and cap one more off here before the final horn.
Barone did score a power play goal in that 9-1 season opening win Friday at Chapman. Pass backdoor. It deflects. Took a weird bounce.
I didn't even see what that hit.
Korovo able to keep it out and has the boys banging the bench from on the visitor black side of things.
Looks like it was Anton Kulinic, the defenseman, who had crept down wide open on the far post. He had most of the net to shoot at. I don't think he got everything he wanted on it, I should say.
And Santa Clara shoots at the length of the sheet. 10 seconds. Vieira, stretch pass up the middle for Slinkovic. Pass back for Kulinic. His shot deflected wide, wouldn't have been. On frame for Korovo, even if he did get all of it. And after 2, ice hockey at UCSB with a 1-0 lead over Santa Clara University thanks to a power play goal from Anton Kulinic. Coming at 15:38. For Kulinic, it's his first point in Gaucho white. And after being able to withstand the pressure following that Gaucho goal, ice hockey at UCSB, Kyle, I think has to feel like they're in pretty good positioning with the advantage in 91 seconds of power play time or less to begin the final frame.
I think they're going to feel a lot better if they can capitalize on that remaining minute and a half of power play time as well. This game is still, as much as we said that one goal is huge, it's still just a one-shot game, and this could wind up being tied. So for ice hockey at UCSB, there's still a lot of work to do if they really want to close this one out. But you have to say, with that lead and the way they're playing defense right now, they are in a very commanding position.
Gauchos 1, Broncos nothing. Home game 1 of the 2018-19 season. Eric Evelhoch and Kyle Nicolas happy to be with you once more. Year 4 of the ice hockey at UCSB era. The ice hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network. Second intermission here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network. Eric Evelhoch and Kyle Nicolas with you. Gauchos lead it 1-0 on the strength of a Gaucho power play goal by Anton Kulinich at the 15:38 mark. And Kyle, one of the gentlemen who's so instrumental for this Ice Hockey at UCSB program, is not somebody who is directly involved even with the program per se, and as it were, leadership role or anything, but rink manager here at Ice in Paradise, Larry Briere, just does so much, and that's why it was so great to see this past year that USA Hockey acknowledged him as the winner of the 2018 Walter Yashuk Award. Comes from the USA Hockey Coaching Education Program and honors outstanding contributions as a volunteer. Larry has been such a big part of hockey here in Southern California and in California as a whole for over 30 years.
Larry has been managing rinks all around Southern California, like you said, California as a whole, for such a long time. I know he was also for many years one of the directors at my personal home local rink, the Ice Station down in Valencia. Was there for such a long time. He ran the adult league while he was there. It's great to see him and all of the work and the contributions that he puts into not only growing the game, but keeping these beautiful facilities like this up and running. I see him here at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. He is here until the wee hours of the morning sometimes, and then back again seemingly just a few hours later to open the place up. He really gives his heart and his soul to what it is that he does. So being able to see him be recognized for everything that he's put in to not only helping the rink here run, but even just to bringing the rink here to Santa Barbara was such an instrumental part of that as well, and building it literally from the ground up and creating it into what it is today.
Brick by brick, you know, his 30-plus career, he's coached everything from 8U all the way up to ACHA. He's seen time at University of Southern California, the University of California, Berkeley, and he certainly was instrumental in helping this program make the step up from the NCHA to the ACHA. And with that big old banner hanging to the right of the San Ynez Band of Chumash Indians scoreboard here at the Snyder Rink for Ice in Paradise, his name may not necessarily be on that as a team member, but he was every bit the part of bringing that here, as he's been a part of so many young hockey players' lives for over 3 decades.
I really hope we do get a chance to interview him on one of these broadcasts. Larry is just one of those guys who's so genuine. He's so easy to talk to, and he's got so many stories about helping the game grow here in Southern California, and he's been such an instrumental part for so many years. As you said, over 30 years. Really, it's just to have someone like him on staff here at Ice in Paradise is just a wonderful privilege for those of us here at Ice Hockey at UCSB to be able to work with someone like him and to have someone like that really helping to promote and grow this program as well. I fully expect Ice Hockey at UCSB to be an integral part of the Santa Barbara community and of the campus community for many years to come, and it's largely because of his efforts.
Winner of the 2018 Walter Yashuk Award from USA Hockey. Congratulations to all of us on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network, to Ice in Paradise rink manager Larry Briere for a well-earned and well-deserved award from our nation's hockey governing body. The governors of the action have made their way back to the sheet here at the Snyder Rink, getting ready for the third period. So, Kyle, as we take a look at the shot numbers in that second period, UCSB actually outshot 10-8 by Santa Clara. What did you see in that middle frame of action that can be built on?
I thought there was a lot of positivity in terms of UCSB got a few more pucks into the dirty areas of the ice. I thought they really did much better in terms of getting the scoring chance quality that they were looking for. Obviously not quite as much in the way of the shots on goal, but sometimes that's kind of a side effect of when you're a little bit more selective about the pucks that you choose to put towards the net as well. So for Ice Hockey at UCSB, I thought that was a pretty good benefit of their last period.
And certainly getting pucks to the net are important, and the man with our rinkside reporter Arthur Wilkie put one towards the net and has the only Gaucho goal of the game. Arthur.
All right, Anton, tell us about the goal and what you saw there.
I don't know. I just saw the winger carry it down on the other side, and the defense sort of pinched on that end and just opened up and shot it. I think it went out for one of their defenders, so yeah, just a lucky bounce. Yeah.
Really close game going on here. Is anything that Coach Hires emphasize defensively?
Just cleaner breakouts, more pressure, smarter plays. That's all. Yeah.
All right, best of luck in the third period. All right, guys, back to you.
Thanks again to our man in the glass, Arthur Wilkie, and thank you to goal scorer Anton Kulinich for joining us. And you know, Kyle, that it is going to be critical to have that clean play in the defensive end, defending a 1-0 lead, but with a good opportunity to build on it to begin the final frame of regulation. 1 minute and 31 seconds of power play time on the carryover on the tripping minor to Nick Carpino.
And for ice hockey at UCSB, that is an opportunity to give themselves a little bit of breathing room, but I would fully expect Santa Clara is not going to go away quietly. Like we said before the break, it's a one-shot game right now, so if they manage to kill this one off, they're going to be coming on hot and hard.
Barone, Slankovic, and Anchondo, the forwards to begin the third period for the Gauchos. And right away, Miller slaps it back in behind Karma, unable to get the clean exit of the zone initially. Anchondo stood up by Burke at the red line. Burke carries in on his backhand, spins it around the net. Just angle it back in behind. Puck just sits there as Burke tries the wraparound. Karma seals it off. Barone back behind for Slankovic. 45 seconds remain in the third power play of the evening for the Gauchos. There, 1 for 2. Pretty bit of stick work to slip through. On the backhand, pass back door, score! Barone with the Gaucho power play goal. But slick stuff from Slankovic to set him up for the Gauchos' second of the game.
Slankovic is not going to get credit for this goal, but boy, the entire thing was his doing. Just a lot of heads-up play to carry that puck through the neutral zone, work his way around through the penalty-killing box, and then a very heady pass to look up and recognize Barone was wide open on the far post. Barone had all the time in the world to bury that one, and a helpless Ryan Corvo in the Santa Clara net. The Gauchos get that goal, and they've got a little bit of breathing room.
57 seconds in, the Gauchos double their delight. It's a big one as Barone makes it 2-0, scoring his second goal of the season. For Slankovic, it's his second helper. And the Gauchos look for more with forward pressure. Ryan Schmitz tried to angle it off the near boards. Dakota Binniger sends it back into the UCSB end. Stretch pass, and it's a good one. William Vogel, though, does an even better job knocking it away from Ryan Anderson. Bowers trying to lead the breakout. Miller for Binniger. Hard around and cleared out to the near point by Vinny Abdallah for Aiden Rubert. Puck knocked away. Burke retrieves. Touched forward by Miller. Cruz Holloway. Knocked away by Burke. Burke. Pass back across the slot. Tied up. Far circle, unable to do anything with it. Carpino. And the Gauchos are going to get a penalty here as Mitch Kiner held onto him too long in the far corner, but the official call is going to be a slash.
So real quickly, right after getting that 2-0 goal, ice hockey at UCSB going to face a little bit of adversity here. Kiner with, like you mentioned, hanging on to the attacking forward just a little bit too long down low, maybe taking that free hand off the stick and gripping on. right in front of the referee. Generally not the place you want to try and get away with that sort of thing. So for ice hockey and UCSB, a big penalty kill here.
And they've put up a double minor. So 4 minutes to kill for the Gauchos. Kyle Perez. Sharp angle shot by Miller. Kicks out. Vieira. Two black shirts converge, now a third. Back to the point for Winchester. Burke. Miller. Back for Burke. Miller again. Save made by Karma. Screen provided in front by Perez, who has the puck now along the back wall. Snap shot. Blocked. And out to neutral ice. Corvo comes flying out, looking to catch the Gauchos in a change. Able to change 3 of their penalty killers as the shot from Bowers goes wide. Turnover created. Save made by Karma on Brown. Comes to the near point for Winchester. Now Brown. Shot. Save made with the glove by Nolan Karma. 2:48 to go in the double minor.
Karma showing off a little bit of that flexibility there, getting down into a splits to get that glove nice and low. Take some of the pace out of this game, let some fresh penalty killers get out on the ice for the Gauchos and slow things down.
Draw one back for Burke. Loops it over the top. Vinegar battling with Schmitz. Dug free by Brown. Back for Burke. His shot locked in the high slot. Great job by Anderson. Tried to pitchfork it forward for Arenberg. He'll ultimately put it back in behind.
Good heart and soul shift from those two, Arenberg and Anderson. That big shot block really to slow that momentum down.
Winchester with the wind at his back. His shot is blocked to the back wall. And Vieira able to airmail it out. Burke. Forward for Winchester. Winchester knocked away by Owasiak. May can't clear on the first 2 tries, but ultimately Owasiak does. And Owasiak gets it all the way back in behind Corvo's cage.
1:38 left to go on this double minor penalty kill for the Gauchos.
Hassling Rupert from behind, but Aiden angles in. His shot hits the defender. Second try up over the top. Rupert with it again. Binninger in front. Just couldn't connect with Miller. Miller. Looking for the backdoor feed. It deflects in on Karma, and he holds. Mario Lemieux seconds remaining in the second half of the double minor, called the slash on Mitch Kiner.
Yeah, it's 66 for those of you out there who don't quite understand the reference.
Who doesn't know Mario Lemieux's number if you're a hockey fan?
Just throwing it out there.
Big defensive zone draw won by Barone. Puck to the near corner. And ultimately, Rupert will play it back along the boards. This is Brown. Bowers for Brown. Looking back door, it's deflected. Held at the line by Vogel. Brown. Kulinich had it for a moment, but Bowers back to the point for Vogel. Looking to return for Bowers. Bowers. Curling back behind. Bowers to the point, deflected. Vogel's shot wide. Karma does well to stab it back in behind. Brown for Miller. Miller bounces it in front, deflects off the stick at Karma. Corvo clapping his stick on the ice as the Gauchos have killed off the double minor. Perfect. 4 for 4 on the PK today for the Gauchos as Barone wins the puck along the back wall. Looking for help, plays to the point, and gets the return touch for Slenkovic. Sharp angle play, clipped away. Vieira holds the near point, just couldn't link up with Barone. 12:40 to go here in the third period. Kiner, shot. Corvo clears it to the near boards where Barone comes up with it. Back to the point. Vieira holds for Barone. Looking for the 1-2. Instead, it's played back to the point for Vieira. Vieira off the back wall. Owasiak curls to the slot. Deflects. One second chance. Try Slenkovic. Couldn't stick it home, but he has it again. Slenkovic for Schmitz. This is a good response shift for the Gauchos after killing that double minor. And Santa Clara forced to shoot at the length of the sheet.
And the referee gets over there quickly to stop them from trying to change those players. And boy, you've got some tired Broncos on the ice now. And not to mention, if we're talking about fatigue, this is the point where, this being the third game in 3 days for these Broncos, those legs are really going to start getting very heavy. Especially on that shift there where they were playing defense in their own zone for about 2 minutes.
Anderson controls off the draw. To the point, Kiner. Slap play. Great tip. Better save by Corvo on Anchondo. Anchondo able to kick it back to his defenseman. Kiner turns it forward for Anderson. Nice job by Anchondo. Tried to sweep it by Burke. Stood up, but Abdallah does well. Drops it back for Anderson. Bounces it to the back boards. Abdallah with it again. Trying to twist free. Turnover in front. Abdallah just couldn't control it on his backhand, but Anderson there in to pick up possession. He'll curl it back behind. Rubert escapes the Abdallah pressure, but Anderson stepping up, kicks it along. And finally up the far wall, it's held in at the point by Kiner. Burke speeding through neutral ice. Drops it back for Weizenkamp. His shot is blocked in front by Kulinic. Played to the bottom of the near circle. Shot. Karma out. Save made. Dug around for, but ultimately covered by the Gaucho goalkeeper.
And Karma quickly recognizing that not a lot of places for the Santa Clara forward to go. Gets out to the top of his crease, and once again, just nowhere to shoot the puck except right into that breadbasket. Talk about confident goaltending. Once again, Karma full display there.
Sophomore from Temecula. He's the goalie of record in the PCHA championship tournament that saw the Gauchos defeat Stanford in the opening round. Take an overtime decision from California Lutheran University in the semis before, of course, winning in the shootout against SCU. Slenkovic ahead. Burke stood up the attempted playthrough at the line. Winchester very nearly gave it away to Arenberg. Winchester with it again. Slapper. Wide, and it'll kick. Well, funny bounce as it's touched forward by Owasiak. He takes the return feed. Owasiak gets it back to him. Slenkovic just ran out of real estate. Still has it behind the net. Sticked away by Miller. Nice job activating at the point by Vieira to move it away for a moment. But Brown for Burke. And Owasiak stands him up. Winchester with 9:30 to go here in the third period. McMahon's attempted forward play, interrupted by Vieira and Burke. Cruz Holloway creates the turnover as Slenkovic re-racks through neutral ice. Drags it through Vinegar. Walks by Burke, but could not finish it with Winchester in the way.
Just couldn't quite get through three. He got through the first two. He just couldn't quite get around the third. Otherwise, we've already seen one of those pretty rushes up the ice of the night. He probably would have had a breakaway on another one. Smooth hands Slankovich has. This is our first time seeing him in Gaucho uniform this season. Obviously, we were unable to call the game down in Orange County.
He's one of 3 players coming up through the Junior Sharks program, as well as Nick Arnberg and Zach Anchondo. Of course, the 3rd leading goal scorer for the team last season, Austin Trenner, is part of that championship side. He's part of the Junior Sharks as well. Tyler Barone, top of the far circle. Kulinich, fans on it, but Schmitz ultimately able to angle it back behind. Evelhoch forces the errant pass that Schmitz intercepts. Will switch wide for Barone. Barone's shot deflects. Corvo comes out to the top of the crease and will catch it.
Cruz Holloway making a nuisance of himself in front of the net again, and boy, is he drawing the ire of everyone in black with red trim, and much to the delight of the former Gaucho players, sitting pretty much right below our broadcast position, making a lot of noise on the glass every time he makes a little bit of that physical contact in front of the net.
Barone on the draw again, this time beaten by Miller. Holloway throws the body. Santa Clara throws it away up the far boards. Vogel plays back for Rubert. And a turnover. Evelhoch, save made by Corvo. Alert work for the 6'3 San Jose product. Now on the carry-in, Karma kicks away the shot by Bowers. Nolan Bowers with it again. Looking for a place to go with it. Comes back out the other way. Puck sits there. Bounces back to the line. All sorts of traffic as Vogel flies it up and away. Brown as Kulinich slings it along. And it's angled back in. And a delayed penalty call here coming up against UCSB. And it looks like this is going to be an interference minor against Cruz Holloway with 7:27 to go here in the 3rd period, and the Gauchos leading by a pair.
Well, those are the results of little things like not being able to get the puck out of your own end. The Gauchos had a couple opportunities to get the puck out over their own blue line, and they failed on both instances. And now once again, trying to defend this 2-goal lead with 7:27 to go here in the 3rd period, they find themselves shorthanded. Another big penalty kill coming up.
5th power play of the evening for Santa Clara. Craig Miller on the draw. Back to the line for Winchester, given for Burke. Burke takes the return feed and gives it back to Miller. Shot blocks, and Burke has to come out to come away with it. Owaziak gives him a body, but Burke shoves him off. Vinegar walks across the high slot and drops it back for Winchester for Burke. Burke gives for Miller. Winchester for Burke. Touch play, Vinegar, swing and a miss. So they tried to get it to him at the bottom of the far circle. Karma out to cover with 1:12 to go on the power play.
Gauchos doing a good job holding their structure on this penalty kill. It seems like one of those things that's very easy to do that you may not suspect. Simply just one man coming out of position at the wrong time can open up a lane, lead to a very high quality scoring chance on a power play.
And now a good job by Evelhoch to work it out to neutral ice, but an even better job to chop it down by Winchester and play forward for Bowers. Bowers across the slot, can't connect, but it goes for Burke. Slapper deflects wide. Burke keeps it, plays to the high slot. Bowers with room and time. His shot deflected wide by Perez on the tip play between the circles. Perez. Sharp angle shot. Fought down by Karma. Rebound kicking around, and the officials have lost sight of the puck and blow the play dead.
That play blown dead by a referee on the backside of the net. He would have been on the front side. He would have seen that that puck was not covered. So Gauchos the beneficiary of a little bit of misplaced officiating there. Nonetheless, they'll take that one.
Fortune smiles on Santa Barbara once more. 6 minutes even to go here in the third period. Reminder, the next time we'll be on the air with you will be Friday, the 2nd of November, as the Gauchos are on the road taking on the Cal State Long Beach 49ers.
First time we'll have ever seen them in the Ice in Paradise era.
UCSBhockey.com for all the information about that. And of course, you can find out how to listen to that on the Gaucho Ice Hockey Facebook page. Winchester's slapper deflected through a bunch of bodies in the high slot to the near corner. Kulinich to the line, but Winchester holds it in. High shot. Don't know if Karma ever saw it, but it was up and away from Nolan Bowers. Burke walks behind. Burke hesitating, and Cruz Holloway is out of the box. Gauchos successful on their 5th penalty kill of the evening, and you know that Coach Hires has to be happy about that. Behind the net, Bowers. Pass back against the grain, comes out to neutral territory and enables the Gauchos to get a host of fresh bodies over the end boards. Pass across the slot is intercepted by Slankovich, plays it ahead. And tough pass for Barone. Barone draws, back for Slankovich. Pass went through Corriveau, but didn't find the stick of Barone until now for Slankovich. Slankovich back to the point. Barone with it. Through traffic, Corriveau kicks it up and off one of the many youth hockey banners that hang here at Ice in Paradise. Of course, the Adams Cup Championship banner now to the right of the San Ynez Band of Chumash Indians scoreboard, joining the pair of Santa Barbara Royals LA Kings High School Hockey Championship banners, 2015-16 and 16-17.
Awful lot of success in this rink, despite it only being, 4 years old now?
In its 4th season. And the Gauchos. Slankovich dances through 2. Ole. Before Corriveau puts the stick to him and forces it back behind. McMahon. Unlucky bounce off the stanchion on the attempted clear by Miller. Second try, Santa Clara able to shoot it out. Hard in off the high glass, handled by Rubert. 3:45 to go in the third. Rubert stood up at the Gaucho blue line. Pass off the boards for Barone. Barone back for Slankovich. Slankovich shrugs off the hip check. Across the slot. Slankovich waits back to the point. Wind and fire off the outside of the net from Ryan Schmitz. Puck comes to the slot, and Corriveau to the top of the crease to seal Slankovich's shot in the midsection.
Slankovich probably could have had at least a pair tonight, if not a hat trick. Boy, he's had himself a whale of a game, but you got to admit, so is Ryan Corriveau in the net for Santa Clara. He has been everything they have possibly asked of him tonight. That first goal, you'd have to argue in no way, shape, or form could you expect him to stop that one. That just fluke deflection off of Winchester in the high slot on the power play. And then that second one, the defense allows the pass through to Barone. And again, he's nowhere near it. No opportunity for Corriveau to get over and stop that one. He's been everything you could have asked for him and more.
So with 3:17 to go in the third period, the Gauchos will get a breather as Santa Clara takes their timeout. I'd be interested to see, Kyle, what the shot numbers are here in the third period, as technical director Jasmine Kellogg keeping track of those for us. Of course, the Gauchos had a 20-17 lead after 2. How do they look here with
third period
over 3 quarters played in the third?
Third period so far, 8-7 in favor of UCSB.
And that's what you like to see, with the team continuing to pour it on in a game where Both of their goals have come with the man advantage. The Gauchos successful on the power play.
And something else to add to that as well, 6 of the 7 shots that Santa Clara has this period have come on the power play. So for UCSB, aside from that double minor that they took, and I believe they've taken one other penalty this period as well, have just dominated this third period at 5-on-5, which as a coaching staff, you've got to really love seeing that.
UCSB's power play, 6 of 15 on the season. And Chris Owaziak wins the offensive zone draw for a moment, but Cameron Burke tries to clear and can't. Owaziak behind the net for Anderson. Anderson trying to spin free. Winchester curls back with it. You figure if the Broncos are going to get anything, number 4 here is going to have a hand in it.
Keep an eye on Corvo. He's headed out. He's above the hash marks right now.
Gauchos come up with a steal in the defensive end and played in behind by Owaziak. Corvo reverses course with it, catching Bowers unaware, forcing him to deal with the forecheck of Arenberg. Dogged work from Owaziak behind the net for Arenberg. Burke angles it out for Bowers. Near boards for Carpino, and Corvo was headed towards the bench before the Gauchos intercepted.
Got away with it too.
Anderson was heading off on a change. Winchester with it with 2 minutes remaining in the third. Herlihy knocks the puck free. Corvo had it in the catcher's mitt for a moment and had it come on out. Stretch pass intercepted again by the Gauchos.
They are not letting Corvo leave his net.
Just absolutely locking down that neutral ice. Now Santa Clara able to get a clean exit.
And Corvo to the bench.
Binniger, turn back. Cruz Holloway. Across the high slot, diving effort by Burke. Intercepted. Played to the blue line. Cruz Holloway falls, but is able to get it back in deep. William Vogel. Santa Clara 6-on-5. That's Kulinich. Played ahead for Barone. Barone walks through and stumps it just wide.
Knifed off his stick at the moment of truth.
1 minute remaining in the period and no goal.
Barone's going to take a hooking penalty here.
Zach Anchondo thought he had the clincher, but good eye Kyle. Now a chance for a 6-on-4 for Santa Clara with under a minute to play.
And Barone, after getting that puck knifed off his stick at the moment of truth, got his stick up into the midsection of a Santa Clara player, and being an intelligent player, clamped down on the blade of Barone's stick to really emphasize it. Barone trying to pull his stick free, got a little bit too much. He's going to sit in the box for the end of this one, or at least until Santa Clara is able to put one behind the goaltender, if they're able to.
Make sure your tray tables are in the locked and upright position. Burke off the draw. Score!
That's
through traffic. It was deflected in front. I believe it's going to be Chris Brown who is ultimately the man responsible for it. And on the 6th power play of the night, Santa Clara their first goal, and it's a 1-goal Gaucho edge.
And it's unfortunate because it's a pinball goal that just somehow manages to bounce in a way that it gets in behind Karma. Probably took 2 or 3 bounces on its way in there, but had just enough to get past him. Not really much that the Gaucho goaltender can do, and unfortunately, with less than a minute to go, UCSB now finds themselves having to hang on to this one.
Corvo flies the cage to the bench for the extra skater again. As the puck comes out to neutral ice, 40 seconds. Burke knocked off his stick by Slankovich. Back in the own end, a couple Gauchos fan on it, but Slankovich plays it ahead. From the neutral zone, it's shot just wide by Owaziak, and this will go for icing.
It didn't quite get the red line either, which is unfortunate. I'm sure Coach Hires is probably thinking, oh man, If he would have gone probably another 5 feet further forward, that was not icing. And instead of it missing the net, or well, even though it missed the net, I should say, Ice Hockey and UCSB would have had a chance to recover. Now they've got to defend a face-off in their own zone. 22.5 seconds, all that remained in this one.
Looks like it's going to be Owazia called upon for the key in-zone draw. There may have been an extra second, maybe 2, that slipped off.
Referee over at the scorer's bench now. Look like they might be trying to clear that up, and I think they might be putting a little bit of time back up on the clock. Wow, they put 4 whole seconds back up on the clock. 26.5 remain now.
Good catch by Bronco assistant Akshay Agarkar. Off the draw, it was dribbled in on Karma, and Lenny off his line, leans forward and covers.
Very alert goaltending, and that puck actually got out from underneath him. Linesman just went back behind the net and picked it up, and I think that's why Santa Clara is raising a little bit of noise here, as that puck was actually loose.
We've seen a couple times where Kyle Perez has gone to push it right on goal off the draw. He's stalemated here as it goes to the far corner. Angled across the high slot. UCSB able to get the clear up the near boards. Slankovic angling with Burke. Puck into the end boards. 5 seconds remaining, and the officials stop action as now everybody comes together.
Slankovic just got tackled down at the very end there. Just be asking, hey, why are you doing that? There's 4 seconds left in this one.
You have to figure that this is going to be a situation where both sides will have somebody come off.
Both sides will have someone come off.
2 seconds remaining.
But I would have to imagine Ice Hockey at UCSB is going to end this with a man advantage, because the initial infraction for the rough should go to Santa Clara for this one. And it looks like
Cameron Burke has just been given the heave-ho.
Yeah, Cameron Burke has just been sent off. Never mind, he's being sent to the bin, but I mean, for little over 4 seconds left, you'd have to imagine that's probably going to be about the end of it for him. He's none too happy about it.
As you'd imagine, both Slankovic, I believe it is in fact Burke.
You got to give Burke a little bit of credit for his way of being able to defend and get in front and stop the empty netter from salting it away. Not a whole lot of time left, but just enough. You never know, some crazier things have happened.
So I believe the officials just indicating that Ice Hockey at UCSB has used their 1-minute timeout now, as the officials come to.
And I believe you're right. I believe we're going to be getting 4-on-4 out of this, which is a little bit surprising. And it looks as though Burke has been tossed from this one. He's just been removed from the penalty box, and he is making his way off. His afternoon is done.
Well, he had a hand in what is currently the only goal on the scoreboard for Santa Clara. His shot deflected in front by Chris Brown.
He had a good afternoon as well. Burke was one of the most threatening Broncos on the ice all afternoon long. Really gave the Gaucho defense fits trying to keep up with him.
And it looks like out of all of this, Santa Clara is somehow going to end up
that should be
with
UCSB.
their 7th power play of the afternoon.
I'm a little curious as to how. Of course, we don't have a direct line of communication down there for what penalties are being called, but you're right. The only penalty up on the boards right now is one to UCSB. So somehow out of that whole scrum, a 4.2 second opportunity, and now the face-off down by Lennon Karma.
Perez tries to slap it in on him, stalemated in the slot. It comes there, pops up in the air by Rubert, and Ice Hockey at UCSB celebrates a home opening victory over the Santa Clara University Broncos. The Gauchos win it 2-1, a special night hanging the Adams Cup Championship banner from the Pacific Collegiate Hockey Association in 2017-18. Only appropriate that it's special teams that see them through. A pair of power play goals. Anton Kulinich, the game winner, senior from Murrieta, Tyler Perrone, see UCSB through to their second victory of the season. Kyle, this is going to be a very, very special season for ice hockey at UCSB, competing in the West Coast Hockey Conference. And of course, we're looking for our player of the game interview to be joined by the third member of our broadcast team, Arthur Wilkie. Looks like he's trying to figure out who he's going to be tracking down for this one as the Gauchos. I don't quite know if they're going to take a cue from the Carolina Hurricanes here and do the thunderclap into the
Stick salute.
run into the boards, but
Looks like we got
instead,
Tyler Perrone.
it's an interview that we've heard so many times before, but so appropriate for his senior season that Tyler Perrone joins Arthur Wilkie at center ice.
All right, Tyler, congratulations on the win. What were your overall thoughts on the game?
I thought we did well. We played definitely, a little bit down to their level. We could step it up more, but, it's a new team. We're just starting to get used to, working with each other and, seeing how everything flows. But I thought it went well. I mean, a little tight at the end, but we're doing what we can out there.
You got the eventual game winner. Tell us about that goal and how it transpired.
My line mate made a great pass. I was wide open in front of the net. He got the goalie moving, just put it in. Me and him were working well down low in the game, just making some crisp passes, and that's how we're going to end up scoring against good teams.
And throughout the game, it was a little closer than you wanted it to be at the end. What did you say to each other in that final minute?
Just keep it together. Stay calm in a situation like that. We know we're a better team. We know that if we just keep calm, make a good pass, they're not going to be able to score. They're feeling just as nervous as we are, and just a sense of calmness is how we hold true in a situation like that. But that's all we did, and we got the result we wanted.
All right, congratulations again, and best of luck in the next game. All right, back to you guys.
Big thank you to Tyler Perrone as well as to our man between the glass, Arthur Wilkie, for bringing you our post-game interview. Perrone with the game-winning goal in the 2018-19 home opener. He had one game winner in 2017-18, already equaled that this year. Kyle, before we get out of here, final shots on goal numbers.
Final shots on goal in the third period, 9 apiece for a total of 29 for ice hockey at UCSB and 26 for the opponents.
25 save performance tonight for Lennon Karma. Second consecutive time that he's made 25 stops for ice hockey at UCSB as the Gauchos improve to 2-0. Santa Clara 0-6-0. Final thoughts as we got to get out of here quick.
Got to get out of here quick. I thought it was a very good opening weekend for ice hockey at UCSB, a much tougher contest than the one against Chapman on Friday night. So to see them come out on top of this one and put together the defensive performance that they did in this game is extremely encouraging. In the past, we've seen ice hockey at UCSB teams struggle a little bit on the defensive end of the puck. Today, not so much. They seem to be real solid, real good in front of Lennon Karma. Made it very difficult for Santa Clara to generate anything in terms of offense. It took a fluke in order to break that shutout for Karma. That was otherwise a flawless performance.
The next time you'll have the opportunity to come out here to the Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise to see your Gauchos is Saturday, the 10th of November, when the Gauchos take on Long Beach State at 4:45 p.m. Of course, our next broadcast here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network will be Friday, the 2nd of November, when the Gauchos take on Long Beach State at 9:15 p.m. from Lakewood Ice. Keep up with all the latest on broadcast information and more by liking the Gauchos on Facebook, facebook.com/icehockeyucsb, as well as visiting ucsbhockey.com. Well, that'll do it for us here in Goleta. The Gauchos cap off a special afternoon with a great win over a great rival. For everyone with the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network, for my color commentator, Kyle Nicolas, for our man between the glass, Arthur Wilkie, for technical director, Jasmine Kellogg, for cameraman, Jesse Gutierrez, and for producer, Will Hahn, my name is Eric Evelhoch. Thank you for watching this presentation of Gaucho Ice Hockey, and join us again when the Gauchos go on the road against Cal State Long Beach on the 2nd of November. Until then, thanks for watching and have a spectacular end to your Sunday. Goodbye from Goleta.